Yenge Keno, Away Nusiemi Kambote Keno, Lu Vuvamu Yala. I know they're meeting right now. I didn't get a chance to get up in time, but I just wanted to come before you once again. I greet you. For those of you who are with the nZambi and have returned and are with the full truth, Assalamu alaikum Kongo. You know, this is going to be a very tough message to do because many people, you know in this world that, and this has always been the issue and the problem with Bantu people, with Bana Kongo, with Bana nZambi, and for the negroes, and this is where they were able to use the weaknesses of the Bantu people against us to enslave us, because if there's one thing that the scriptures teach is really belong to the Bantu people, is that we always have problems because of Isaiah chapter 1. And so because of that, this is why the scriptures that we now read, we continue to think that it belongs to the Mundele and Kadi and Pemba, bringing us to salvation, when really it was always meant to be the other way around. But it's because, as I will go over it in this video, there are many people who hold animosity in their hearts. There are many people who hold jealousy in their hearts. There has always been the problem with Bantu people when the Most High reveals things to some people but not to others, especially when it comes to the fact that they feel, or certain people feel, that they should know things because of their position. And that's the problem with, and this is not directed towards any one person at all. This is in general across the board. This is even the problem with Black people in America and across the world, is that they have always known the chosen people, and they've always known that there's two things that will always work in their favor, are the aggression that we have demonstrated towards one another, and also the passivity that we have demonstrated towards one another. Because this is kind of why, people want to say, oh, this is not about race, this is about the creator, whatever. But see, the problem is the world doesn't understand. There was never any such thing as race. No, this is the lie. This is the deception of the deceiver. And I'm going to tell you why we get into that. It was all about lineage. Lineage is what determined who was from the Most High and who wasn't, who was from the creator and who wasn't. It was about lineage. It was always like that. And so I'm going to explain to you, why people like Simon Toko, Kimbango, Kempavita, people like Isaiah and all the others, and even the prophets, because when it talks about who killed the prophets, it was the Bantu people who killed the prophets. It was really the Bantu people who caused Isaiah to be killed. When he talks about, I send my prophets, then I finally send my son, it was more than just the Sanhedrin and the people who, because the Sanhedrin was able to do what they did because our people brought the Phoenicians into our community. And this is how all the history and everything's been changed. And I'll even start going back to Adam, what Yawe Kongo, what is really going on with our people, the Black man, the Black race, which is really not even a race. This is the problem. There's different forms of Black people. Not every Black person was the same. Even with white people are not the same. Okay, this is the issue, and I'm going to talk about why this world is in confusion. When we talk about love, what kind of love are we talking about? When we talk about hate, what kind of hate are we talking about? Okay, when we talk about knowledge, what type of knowledge are we talking about? We talk about ignorance, what type of ignorance are we talking about? Okay, because you can still be happy and be ignorant Okay, but you can also be happy and be knowledgeable. But see, the problem the world has to understand is we're going to break down the concept as to how the world really functions that most people don't even know. And I know those who know this will not be happy of this revelation. And I pray that the Most High will watch and protect over this video, as I've done so already. But this is also going to make it clear what is wrong with Africa, what is really wrong with Africa, what is really wrong with the Bantu people, the Bana Kongo, the negroes, the niggers, as they called us, which is a good and bad, which people don't understand. The people who are running this earth know the real truth. That's just the way it is, and there's a reason for that. And like I said, any and everybody in this world that helps clarity to be made becomes a threat to the people who don't want the clarity to be made. It's just the way it is because of the intent of what people are trying to do. Okay, so let me play the song, and then we'll get into more of the message. Na Congo. You say you see. I talk about Na Congo. Bondela prayer. Nazo Bondela ya Yave. I obey you, Yave. I pray. Pray in the name, he's saying, pray in the name of the Messiah. And we'll get into that as well. Kemba na nzambe na yo, okazi
Yave na nZambi na yo, Yave na nZambi na yo, ya ya, Yave na nZambi na yo, Yawe Kongo. Nana sacha kawai papa na yo, nazali malamu. Yave na nZambi na yo, abomi motema.
Yave na nzambe na yo, ya ya, Yave na nzambe na yo, Yawe Bokonzi. Yawe Bokonzi, King. Kemba na nzambe na yo, ya ya, nzambe na yo, Yawe Bokonzi. Kemba na nzambe na yo, ya ya, Kemba na nzambe na yo, Yawe Bokonzi. Kemba na nzambe na yo, ya ya, Kemba na nzambe na yo, Yawe Bokonzi. Kemba na nzambe na yo, ya ya, Kemba na nzambe na yo, Yawe Batiki, drink. Kemba na nzambe na yo, ya ya, Kemba na nzambe na yo, Yawe Bokonzi. Come on now, Yawe Kongo. That's the forbidden and off-limits name. It continues to be the problem. Yahweh Bokonzi. And it's really Yahweh ben Yahweh. Never did anything in his own name. This is the deception. He always did it in the name of the Father. It's the colonizers that taught us that whole concept in the name of Jesus. And of course they made it look like we didn't even know who the Messiah who he really was. This is really Congo. That's nZambi. They stole it. Kimba nZambi na yo. Oh yeah, yeah. Kimba nZambi na yo. Yawe Kongo. Kimbo, hallelujah. Bayete, Mbote, Sabona Dumalang. Away Nusiemi once again. I give all Kimbo to Tata nZambi and Mpungu Tulendo a Kongo Yave, the Most High God of creation, of heaven and earth. I give honor to Kuswa Kongo, Yesaya Mwana Velela, Mwana Kumbase, Imwana Velela, Musadi Seto. I give honor to all of the Pemba Kalunga, Yengi Pemba Kalunga, the righteous of the nZolele, the righteous of all the way down to Adama, the righteous judges in the Pemba Kalunga in the heavens, and to the Zulu. I give Yenge to all of those who are watching over us in this time. Ungubani, you're gonna know who we are. I've actually asked. That was actually in the Black Panther when he was the first one. He said Ungubani. And he tried to say, people don't even know what that means. Who are you? Do you know who you are? That's what it means. And that's the problem. We don't know who we are. And then my wife happened to be watching the Tarzan. And that's about the Congo. That's a deception about the Congo well, what they were really going for, what they knew was there. And I remember he was talking to the chief. And he said, kneel, because of course this is what they wanted Bantu people to do before whites. And they said, or the colonizer, he says, Yakuba chief never kneels. Yakuba chief never kneels. They put it in the movie. Yakuba means Jacob. Yakuba means Jacob in that movie. That's where Jacob comes from, Yakuba. Yakuba chief never kneels. This is what Quentin Zinger told him. I don't kneel before you. And she refused to do so. And of course, when he didn't do that, what did they do? They shot him. Boom. We are the gods. Okay. Let's get into it. And what was funny, they started singing this song. I couldn't quit it all, but then I heard Yesu. It's like, they already knew. We already knew. Like the song says, oh shit, Baba, we already knew. All right. Family, this is going to be a tough message for me because, the one thing that I've learned from Tata nZambi and Mpungu Tulendo, the Most High, is what continues to keep Black people, specifically Bantu, divided and not to have Kintwadi and be a Makanda family is our desire to not recognize he chooses whom he chooses, and you can't question what he does. He makes whomever he chooses to be whatever he chooses, and you must accept it. But this is the problem. We don't always accept it. Like we covered in Tuna Salo. Salo was a Bantu, not a whatever they're telling you. Davidi was a Bantu, a Bana Kongo, a Bana nZambi, but they hide this. And he was jealous. And this is what cost us the kingdom of Congo. Because we argued over things that we have no business even arguing. That's why we're still arguing, because now the agents, those who have become like the Mundere, the Kandi and Pemba, the Mzungu people, they don't want to reject it. They don't want to leave it. It's always been our issue. The Most High has said we always want to be like the heathen. But the problem is the deceivers don't know who the heathen are, who really comes from the Creator and who doesn't. This is all about the deception of the whole world. Okay. What I'm going to demonstrate to you, and the world itself doesn't even understand, okay, everything in this world is seen as property. property. Now, of course, because of the delusion, when they say, okay, no man can own another, so no slavery involved. This was a concept that was created for what they call the do-gooders that don't know that that their own belief itself in Christianity is a deception. But it is because when you create a strong delusion, you must follow through. Okay. I'm going to go and share my screen about something that we must always remember. This is when I was looking at Bondela, Pray, Samba, anger in Kikongo, anger, Makasi. And this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about as to why many of us, like, see, I know my household that I grew up in, thanks to Tata nZambi, was not a household of anger, but of love. But there are many of those who have this problem. She admits, even now, I struggle with feelings of anger because I was brought up in an angry household. Yandi ketubande ata bubu yai mono ke salaka bikesa ya salaka actually means sorry. Salaka, that's where you get salakia. Ya kuyambula makasi sambu. Sambu is prayer. Mono yelaka na dibuta konso muntu bandaka ti kikalulu ya kuwa makasi. The psalmist Davidi, here's how he said it. Muyimbi bankunga Davidi kuyimbakande mfumu nzambe ke zolaka bantu ti kuwila bomawa yandi ke bakaka makasi nswaluve yandi ke songaka kaka mambote na yandi konso ntangu. Okay, so we see the psalmist said Yepoah, that nZambi is really Yepoah, not Jehovah. The Mfumu nZambi is gracious and slow to anger, abundant in loving kindness. Remember this first as I talk about this message. And this is what was always wrong with the Bantu people, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambis. We were too quick to wrath. Why the hidden mysteries, as Isaiah said, if you do not cease from sacrificing, then anger will not cease from you. Meaning, and what sacrificing really means, as I'm going to demonstrate, is this scripture right here. Where did it go? Ephesians 4:27. Neither give place to the devil. Neither give place to the devil. Okay, so let's go and understand some things. First of all, we know from Matthew 6:24, which is really, Matthew was a Muntu. Okay, he was a Bantu, not any one of the people they want to say who they are. But the world will soon find out. But if your eyes be bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. And this is something that many of us have been conditioned actually to be about. This is why the light that shines will always be put to darkness. I was a victim of this. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both Tata nZambi and Mammon, which is what the money stands for. Therefore, I would tell you, Do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? Which is actually what Bantu people are going to realize. This is something that was already instilled in our culture that they hide from us. Okay. Now, the biggest deception in this entire earth, as will be revealed, as I have said it many times, that when they came to Africa, okay, the Muzungu, the Kariapemba, the Mundele, the colonizers, when they came to especially the Congo region, the inner parts of Africa, the way history has been told is that the people they found were heathens that needed to be saved, that needed salvation, that needed to be changed, that needed to be brought to the God of Christ, they brought it to Jesus, the God of creation. Okay, the missionaries were sent after what happened with King Nzinga. Oh yes, we must convert these people, we must make them Christians. But that was the lie. The problem was the people that they found knew not only the God of creation, but they knew him better than they did. And they served him in the way that was supposed to be the way of the Most High. And this was the deception. But because what they saw looked completely foreign to what they knew about the Bible, which is what Rome had distorted, it didn't look like the way of the Messiah and the things that they were doing. It looked like sorcery. It looked like witchcraft. It looked like an abomination. But it's because the scriptures had been altered so that you wouldn't understand that you were not really in the way of the Most High when you were brought up in Christianity. You were given watered down Bantu scrolls. Okay. Now, let's help to understand something. Okay. The earth itself is about two masters. That's it. That's the whole agenda. It's about two masters. And with these two masters, it becomes about property. Who owns what? Who owns whom? Okay. That the nZambi, Yawe Kongo, the Most High, has the problem is the entire creation that he has made is really his property. Okay. Even the ones that fell, who rejected to bow down to the image of the Most High, that didn't agree that they should have dominion over by a Muntu, an Adama, okay, were at one point the property. But what happened is they chose to be their own, which would always be the complete opposite of what the Most High was about. Because with the rejection comes the judgment, comes the curses, comes all kind of, when you say no to the Most High, you receive your judgments. Okay. Just like when you're a child, you say no to your mom and dad for something to tell you to do, and you're going to get a whooping, or you're going to get grounded, or something's going to happen bad to you that you don't like. and you don't think it's fair. Of course, that's what happened. They didn't think it was fair. Well, we didn't want to bow down to this man. It's not fair. Okay. So why should we be punished? Well, they did disobey the Most High. Okay. But their punishment would be for all eternity. That's what the whole concept would be, because you rejected, you became the opposite. So with that regard, okay, let's go to Isaiah. It was then the intent of the fallen one, the morning star. Sorry, I didn't close up everything. His role. Okay, so let's go. This is going to tell you who the earth is really for. Okay. Isaiah 14, for Tata nZambi will have mercy upon Yakuba, and he will choose. Now it says Israel, but that was never the name. Once again, this is all about strong lying signs and wonders, strong delusions, whatever you want to call it. And Isaele, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So there's people keep saying, oh no, the Most High is not going to save any of the Mundeli or Kadi and Pemba. That's a lie. This is all part of the reason why we're having the problem we're doing right now. And they shall cleave to the house of Yakuba. This right here in itself is the whole complete deception of Christianity. Okay, sorry for the noise. My wife is getting ready to leave. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Isaele shall possess them in the land of Tata nZambi for servants and handmaids, and shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is the whole reason why our awakening state is a problem. This is the whole reason why, as I talk about property, this is what it's about. Okay? Right now, the house of Yakuba or nZolele, Isaele, became the property of the world, who they themselves are also the property of their master. And this is going to explain what it means in James, okay? Because all of this is about property, who belongs to whom. People don't understand this. They have no clue. There's a delusion of freedom. They made this happen for a reason, so you would not know that your master masquerades as an angel of light. Okay. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tata nZambi shall give rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Now, all you got to do, anybody who has common sense at all, who has a spiritual blindness lifted from them, will understand who really has gone through this and who has not gone through this the way that they want to portray it. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. This is why the Jamaicans would say Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. We say Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? See, because the delusion in Christianity is you think that this process, that this scripture is just about ancient Babylon, where the Jewish people or the Hebrews, you want to say, were held captive. which is very hard because the current bloodline of the Jewish people also come from Ashkenaz, who were at the time the Hittites. So there's no way at this time that the Hittites were in bondage to Babylon. So it's two different people. The Hittites were not in bondage to Babylon during this time. So this cannot be speaking about the ancient Babylonian times. This is about the future. This is what they don't understand. This is about what would happen later. That nZambi has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, which means that the whole earth is no longer given over to the hands of the wicked. And this is part of the delusion of the two master concept. Okay. He who smote the people in wrath with continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth. He that ruled the nations in anger, who is he talking about? Who is the master that rules the nations in anger? Who is this? The nations across the whole earth. The nations. Who rules in anger? I'll let you figure that one out. The whole nToto, earth, is at rest and is quiet. They break forth in singing. This is about the two masters. Let's get it straight. This is about property. Who owns whom? Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us, meaning that there's no more trees being chopped down. You know, they go making chopping down trees to go make buildings, and they go chopping down trees to make paper and all this other stuff. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. You're standing in hell, people. You don't even know. This is a delusion. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. This did not happen. This cannot be what happened in the ancient times as much as it was in the modern. It will happen soon. Because see, when we left Babylon, when the Bantu people left Babylon, okay, the world was still had rulers raging in anger. All they that shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. The noise of thy viols, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. He's talking about those who work wickedness, those who are proud, those who are haughty, those who are claiming themselves to be the gods of this earth. And then it goes into, this is how you know the master he's talking about. How thou art fallen from heaven, the Zulu, the Pema Kalunga, O Shaitani, Lucifer, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations. So what is he saying? Shaitani is the one who ruled in anger. Shaitani is the one who weakened the nations. He is the other master that Isaiah is saying you cannot serve. You can either serve the Most High or you serve Shaitani. And then I'm going to get into what James says, is really Yaoundé. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into the Pemba Kalunga, the heavens. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. of Tata nZambi. What are stars? This is why they have taught a delusion, people. He's saying, I will be back above the angels, the Maleki, the brothers of the most. We were Maleki Kongo. Okay, we were that's why you see pastors saying, I'm a Maleki, not a Bandoki. I'm an angel. I'm a brother, not a sorcerer, which is not they're not that's a deception, because as we were talking about, a brother spoke about this, to practice the Muntu or the Bana Kongo or the Bana nZambi way will get you destroyed. There's a reason for that. I will also sit an amount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the sky. I will be like the Most High. How do you say the Most High in the language, even among those who speak Yiddish? Yah. Yahweh, the Most High's way. They said they are saying we are in the Most High's way. We are Yahweh. Okay, Tata nZambi's like, I don't think so. The Most High Kongo is saying, I don't think so. What did he say? When he brings his people back, the earth sings. The nations are at rest. The one who rules in anger will be no more. Okay? Why was a person like Simon Kimbangu, Simon Toku, Isaiah, the prophets, such a threat to teach the Bantu people the way of the Most High, the way he wants it to be done? Is because they have always known, okay, the masters of this earth rule with the Most High as the gods of this earth, and they are chosen only. But then the strangers will be the servants. And of course, this is the mockery. And like I say, people, and this is very clear, Satan, the fallen one, hates the Most High. Hates everything about the Most High and his people. He is against the creation of the Most High, no matter where or who they come from. That is the whole purpose. And I'm going to tell y'all, Yesaya, when he said he is the door to Tata nZambi, this is a fact. Anybody who's teaching something different, you better be careful. I have witnessed, I know Kuso Kongo Yesaya is the door to the Most High. It is a fact, not fiction. People want to say that, but what the Mundele and Kade and Pemba and the people who have been deceived through religion is, they think that they are connected to him, and they are not. This is the lie. The Bantu people, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambis, we were connected to him, and we believed the lie of the other master, who said, I will be like the Most High. Okay? Let's look up the definition of a harlot, because this goes back to Hosea chapter 2, and I'm going to bring that up. Let's go to verse 2. Plead with your mother. Plead, for she is not my wife. Neither am I her husband. So the covenant with Tata nZambi and Mpungu Tulendo, Kongo Yawe Kongo, with Abana and Saka and Yakubi, Abraham, Isaac, and the real Abba, is that he became our espoused husband. But what makes us not his espoused wife is when we choose to be, like he talks about it, and the name Baal means husband, Baal, that Eliah fought with the prophets of them, of our own people, the Bana Kongo, and this is still happening today, that the world does not understand. This fight still rages on between one husband and the other. The Most High wants to be the husband of the Bantu people, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambis, the Bana Isoleli, Bana Isaele. Okay? But he is saying to Hosea, they don't want to be. They would rather be the husband or the wife of Baal. And this is where it comes down to property. You are either the property of Tata nZambi, Mpungu Tulendo, or you are the property of the other master, Baal, Shetani. This right here is the result of why Bantu people, Bana Kongo, negroes, are now suffering across the entire earth, with the other black people who made us suffer. That's why they're scattered as well, because they were the Cushites and the Jebusites and the other people were black, and the Egyptians. Okay. Because he made Esau's people the dominion. Because when he said, because remember, Esau's husband is now Baal. When he was rejected by the Most High, Ishmael was rejected by the Most High. Their husband became Baal. And this is why his name is spoken in secret all around the world, in code. But the world does not know this. The world has been the property of this deity since the flood. And he has done with his property the way he chose. And it was the same way before the flood. And see, the issue that this deity has with Tata nZambi, okay, is that this is my kingdom. I choose to do with the kingdom as I see fit. And this is where the delusion lies, is because the whole creation belongs to the Most High. So the issue is with rulers, how I rule versus how the Most High rules. The Most High's way versus Baal's way. The Baal's way is not the way of Tata nZambi. So you cannot be serving two masters. But this is what the world has been deceived to believe. Especially the Most High's chosen. Okay? As the man that I was listening to, and I think the brother who shared it with me, he said the whole world has never stopped being judged by maritime law. Okay. Which goes all the way back to Canaan. Because their husband is really, and I showed you in a video, the cult of, you can see it, they're not even hiding it anymore. They put it on Google. Okay. They're telling you, go right here. You are under this. They don't even hide it anymore. And when you go and you see the way it's done, look at what's on the bottom. It starts up here, the land of Canaan, all the way down to the USA. It's in plain sight. They know. They're not even hiding it from you. But they put you to sleep. So then who is the God of this earth? Okay. This name, Baal, means husband. Let's go look it up. Once again. Wikipedia. There's one of the solid bronze statues that comes from Kemet. This is why the Most High got upset when we put up images to this. Baal was the title and honorific meaning owner. Owner. That means he owns you. You are his property. Lord. They always want to put was. This is how he went invisible. They want to put was in the past tense. No, he's still there. He didn't go nowhere. He is Shaitani. God of fertility, weather, rain, wind, lightning, seasons, war, sailors. He is under the form of Beelzebub that they said, Kuso Kong Isaiah said, he casts out demons in the name of this God. No. That's Baal. Satan can't cast out Satan. Okay. The obelisk. The obelisk. Let's look up what that is again. This is going to show you who your owner is. This image stands for this God. Because he is also Ra, R-A. He is also Nimrod, who lost his phallic. That's what it is, a phallic. Uncircumcised dingaling of Osiris, of Horus, or whatever you want to call it. Okay? Now, there ain't nobody going to tell you the secrets because they have secrets. This is an oath. There's nobody going to admit this to you. If you ask anybody that would know, they're not going to say nothing. No, we don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. They already conditioned for that. You can't ask I always tell people, you can't go ask the wolf in sheep clothing, did you eat the sheep? With the the wool sticking out of his mouth, he's a thief. He gonna say, no, I didn't touch him. I didn't do nothing. Those are liars. Those, when he says they're sheep and they're wolves, these are, he said inwards they're shepherd, but inward they're ravening wolves. Okay? These people will not admit to you, I come to devour you. No. Nobody who's doing this work will say that. Nobody who's doing the most, nobody will tell you the real truth about who they are in spirit unless you can see. You see, because when we give space to Satan out of anger, this is usually how this happens, you are no longer Tata nZambi. You are no longer the creator of heaven and earth. You are not the creation. When you give place to the devil, you are now his. Trust me, I understand this better than anybody because I know. Because when you're going to use jealousy as your weapon, you have become like Shaitani. This is what happened to the brothers when they put Yosef you into bondage. That was not the Most High's way. They did Shaitani's way. Okay? When you get fed milk and not meat, that is not the Most High's way. That is the devil's way because he wants you to be unable to discern the difference about the masters. Okay? Because I know today is Sunday, everybody's in church praying, praising to Jesus, praising to God, hallelujah. That's why the Most High said, do this message today. He said, you don't even know who you're praying to. You don't even know what you're worshiping. You don't even know what you're doing. Like it says in John 4:22, you know not what you worship, for salvation comes through the Bayuda, which is what that word Jews should say, Bayuda. And the Bayuda are the Bana Betu, the nZambi, the Bana Isolele, the Bana Kongo, the Bantu people, who they themselves, like he says in Isaiah, the ox knows his master, the donkey knows his crib, but my people, okay, you are living right now, Hosea chapter 2. You have become the adulterer that went after the pimp, the other master. So Africa, which was the land of Canaan or Ethiopia, became the property entirely of everyone, especially those that were chosen by him to be the top of these people, the Baal, their husband, that we were not supposed to be doing. That's why when the Most High woke me up, Uzziah was a part of that too. You never stop worshiping Baal. This is the problem. And the world still worships Baal. They don't know. They are the property of this God. That's why when the man said, when you go to court, you have no standing, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a deception. I always wondered why they always say the state of Colorado or the state of somebody against so-and-so. Because as long as I live in Colorado, I am the property of Colorado. You don't even know. I mean, you go watch the movie Life, they say the state of Mississippi doesn't care that you want to. I mean, he said about, if you've seen the movie, he said the state of Mississippi don't care if you don't want to dig this ditch. The state of Mississippi wants this big fund. Why? Because the convicts that got put in prison for violating their property law, do you understand, are now the property of the state of Mississippi. And then when you're in the prison, they tell you what to do. This is part of the reason why they wanted to where Bantu people go to prison. And they made it to where the property of the music industry made that a reality with the way they made them make the music. Okay? Why did this happen? Because the Bantu people are the property of Rome. And Rome is the husband, Baal. And because of this is really what it means when he talks about in James 14. Oh, Johnny, I'm sorry, Ioane 14. Ioane, John. Let not your heart be troubled, ye believe in. Now, this is the deception. They removed the name of who this should be so that you could not know that you're owned by this other God. Ye that believe in Kongo, Tata nZambi. That's why this name became a forbidden name. This is why this name became demonized. This is why nZambi became demonized. All these different things. This is why they even have said these people already know who the Most High is, but we want to teach it our way. Okay? Because the whole earth is about property. Who owns what? Look at all, what do you think real estate is about? Okay? I own this land, I own this car, I own this house, you own, but then you go to a higher level, you are also owned by a system. Okay? The Catholic Church will never tell you this, but they know it. They own the earth when they say we represent God. We are the owners. We are the masters. We own you. Because we represent the God. Which God do you really represent? This is why they're lukewarm. Believe also in me. Let's see, where I wanted to say, Kuswa, Yesaya, Yisu, said unto him, I am the way. That's why we said Yesway. The truth, Kongo. Kongo means truth. Ubomi, life. No muntu, he didn't say man. He said no muntu cometh unto Tata nZambi, but by me. Because he said, I came not but for the what? The lost sheep of the house of nZolele, Isaele. Not no Isis, Ra, and El. If you keep thinking Isis, Ra, and El, that comes from the Mammon worshippers. That name comes from the Mammon. That name comes from this. That name comes from this. That was not Yakubi's name. Jacob's name was never Isis, Ra, and El. But hey, you want to believe what you want? Go right ahead. That's why you can even tell that what's going on right now is still part of a delusion. Like I said, I already know who from the Hebrew Israelite. That's why the Most High said this is not the full truth. We are still being harlotized until Tata nZambi says it's over. This is why Kimbangu, Simon Kimbangu and Simon Toko were such a threat. This is why Yesiah was a threat to the people who really did worship. That's why he said, you teach the children how to disobey the law. And of course, they messed up the temple and put selling and stuff in there because their God was Mammon. Pretending and masquerading as the Most High's law. And this has always been throughout the history of the Bana Betu. When you look at the rulers that were wicked and those that were righteous, there were wicked kings and bad kings and good kings, because the Most High said, I am your king. But you asked me for a king. That's why it started off all bad with King Sola from the beginning. Okay? I don't know how we're going to, sorry, I'm thinking out loud about something, how we're going to do this if they, I don't know, we'll try. This is the issue. That when it started from Adama's first wife, Shaitani wanted to be sure that whatever the Most High's creation, he would take from him for the fact that he felt unjustly judged. Why did you kick me out? Just because I didn't want to bow down to this man. Because I don't want to be. But see, that's the whole concept. You don't get to tell the Tata nZambi what to do. He tells you what to do. But to see, the world does not see the masquerade. Like I said, I know for a fact Yawe Kongo is the door. Isaiah is the door. Okay. Let's go to, that was James 4. This is exactly the intent of why you don't make space for the dragon. Because this is exactly, they have been doing this to us for generations. His people, his followers. Okay. Where do wars and fights come from among us, among you? Do they not come from the desires for pleasure that war in your members? Remember, we have said, lust is not just about sex. Lust is about the desire for pleasure. Whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you feel good is about lust. You lust and you do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not know because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Okay, this right here puts the biggest strike on Christianity you have ever seen. Because you don't ask the Most High to continue to do the things that he hates. I had to give this breakdown in my own house. It's like, you can't ask the Most High to give you something for your own pleasure. Myself included. I can't go ask the Most High to give me something if it's for my own desires. I ask amiss. That nZambi knows, okay, you want this, you want that, but what are you going to use it for? Is it for me? Or is it for your own pleasure? See, the world does not understand this. You got how many people? I watched this whole thing they were talking about with that singer and the whole debacle about her tickets. How many people's children who are Christians were crying over that? The Most High is like, I don't know any of this. You're asking me to give you money for your pleasures, to buy your nice house, to buy your nice car, to buy all these things that have nothing to do with him. This is the deception, people. You're already in it. The whole country that you live in all over the world was built off of people's desires and lusts. So then you become that's why he says, you adulterers and adulteresses. Do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity? This is why he says, I put enmity between the man and the woman and the serpent. Because Eve fell victim, Yawe Kongo fell victim to the lust. With the nZambi. Whoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of the creator of the nZambi. Or do you think that scripture says in vain, the spirit who dwells in you yearns jealousy? This was the problem with what happened 500 something years ago to the kingdom of Congo. From the 1300s to the 1500s, okay, that they don't hide this history about. What was causing us to be divided, that eventually led us into Rome's deception, was this. We never learned to stop covetousness. Do not covet. We were adulterers and adulteresses that continued to do what? Try to serve two masters. This is why the Muntu became the dog, the donkey, and they mock it, and they laugh. These are the kings of the earth. Look at them. Look at all this stuff we got them doing here, out here, doing craziness, and they don't even know who they are. Blind, leading the blind into a pit. The leaven of the Pharisees. Huge leaven from leadership on down. The Pharisees and the Sadducees and the scribes run the earth. That he said, beware of the leaven. Okay? You cannot be a friend to the worldly ways and think that you are with the Most High. This is what I had to learn coming into this awakening when he brought me out of the deceiver, the harlot. Okay? Let me explain something to you. This is why we call many churches the harlot. Because they have sold themselves out and you don't even know it. A harlot is a woman prostitute. Let's go back to what Hosea said. A fellow or valet, a male servant, often used opprobriously, meaning you're like a gigolo. A woman who prostitutes herself for hire, a prostitute, a common woman. Excuse me. Okay? This is what happened. Because see, the way they worded it is this is the physical act. It can also be the spiritual act according to scripture. He said adulterers and adulteresses. What are we doing? When you commit adultery, you are committing an act against the spouse. Correct? Well, remember, there's the Most High who's a husband, and then there's Baal who's a husband. There's two masters here. So you can either hate one or love the other, or love one and hate the other. We chose several times to go after the wrong one, because in his mind, this is his kingdom. And this is the reason why the ignorance of Babylon was to create the tower to go and prove this. We will destroy the Most High. And they still think they can. So the issue is with Tata nZambi and Mpungu being the master of this earth is a problem for those who are of the world. Because he says, I will come trodden, he says, all of these people in his anger are going to be trampled down, the winepress. Go back to what Yawe Kongo talks about when he says the master of the house. What house? Betu, the house of Betu, the Bana Betu, the house. We are the ones that beat our brothers and sisters. They made us even do this in slavery. Here, take the whip. They created the mindset of the field Negro and the house Negro to make us beat our brothers, because we turned against the real husband for the imposter. Okay? That is why in this world, they make you believe that you can do whatever you want, but you really can't. From the time you're born to your die, you are of the system. See, this is how the delusion, they talk about, oh, the beast system, the mark of the beast, and all this other stuff in Christianity. You're already in it. You're in the beast system. Already. You're in the Mammon system already. You are the prisoner of Baal already. When you claim to say, I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, you are now the husband of Baal, the wife. The pastor won't tell you that. He's a 501c3. That's why those who, like Toko, came and said, you're worshiping Nimrod, you can't tell them that. Kimbangu, that becomes a problem because it's about the money. You know, a brother of mine showed me this. You can preach, you can say, you can do whatever you want. This is really big in Africa. One of the reasons why they kicked Simon Toko out of Congo was the people stopped doing what needed to be done to bring money into the businesses by learning the right way. Okay, that's a problem. You can't do that. The danger of speaking the truth is about the flow of money. Because you cannot bring money back to the Most High for real, for real. That's a problem. Because then it stops those who are doing it for the Mammon. This is the problem. This is why Kuswa Kongo, the reason why Kuswa Kongo was a problem is they were making money off of the Most High. They showed you in the temple. We went tossing it. What? This is not the way you do things. He's messing with our money, dude. He gotta go. That's why the OJ sang the song, "For the love of money." That's what it has become. You know, you look at the drug dealers and all these different things, and you look at the world, they go and they pray, but yet look what they're doing. It's not just that, it's not just among those doing illegal stuff, it's among the people who claim to be doing the legal stuff. Okay? Because the scriptures are clear that those who build off of blood have nothing to do with the Most High. Their nations are built through blood. It's in several scriptures. We go back to Micah chapter 2. Let's see, where is that? Actually, let's go to Romans 5. Let's go to verse 5. When we were yet without strength, in due time, Klistu, Kuswa, died for the ungodly. Which he really couldn't quite die. I mean, they didn't really kill him. He was gone before he, you know. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man, some who would dare to die. But Tata nZambi came out in his love toward us, that while we were yet sinners, and he's not talking to the Gentiles, he's talking to the Muntu. This is the deception. Klistu died for us. But then they'll go back and say, oh, the Old Testament says no man can die for anybody's sins. You do not understand the Most High when you say that. Because the Ipaseka, the Passover, was always about Isaiah. When you were brought out of captivity, how in the world do you fix what Adam did? Since the keys were taken from him. If anybody I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who it is. If anybody tells you that Kuswa Kongo Yisai did not take the keys away from Satan, I'm just going to say you're going to have a problem with the Most High. For a fact, I know he did. Bartholomew, that's why they don't want you to read Bartholomew. I know this for a fact that Isaiah took the keys away from Shetani. I'm just saying. Kuso Kongo, Yusuf Kristu, the Muntu, the Chiluba, he took the keys away from Shetani. But the devil has made the world think that he didn't. Or they have made him think that his son did. The false Messiah did. Jesus Christos, which is really Tammuz. He makes the world think Tammuz took the keys away from him. That's what he's doing. That is why he was already in the way of the Most High. We were Bana Betu, Bana Kongo negroes. We were already in the way of the Most High. They made us leave the real husband for the fake one. That's why Africa turned into a nightmare, because that was the land of real. That's why they changed all the locations and everything got moved. And what all the things that really happened there, and the modified Bantu ways, they brought you another Jesus. They never said, eat my flesh, drink my blood. Break bread means to have a brotherhood. The wine was a sealing of the covenant. Because they wanted you to sacrifice yourself to a dead God. Okay. The Eucharist is 100% Revelations 3. The one that said the woman drinks with the cup. Yes. That's the Eucharist. And they know that. With the cup that has all the defiled things and the blasphemies, that's the Eucharist. That they even do in Christianity today. You're defiling yourself. Muntu. Black people, negroes, you're defiling yourself. You have no idea. Okay. I didn't want to go too much longer. I was supposed to be joining something, but I'm not sure because I kind of think I need to do something else. But because the Most High wanted to make this very clear that our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because we are the property of Baal. That whole thing that went down with the Emancipation Proclamation, saying that slavery was over, was for the do-gooders, and that was a fabrication. It was how should I say this? It was a delusional lie, because you Bantu people, Negroes, Bana Betu, Bana nZambis, the people who they call the niggers, are the property of Rome. And Rome is why he said, that's why he says, I have to go and make them give me back what was mine. I will cause them, I will force them, I will do these things. Because see, when we were given over as the property, it's like we're not giving it back. And now, but we do what we want with it. We own it. We do whatever. That's the whole concept. But see, the Christians themselves didn't even know they were the property of Rome. So they thought that being a do-gooders, oh, this is not good, this is not bad, this is this. No, they just letting you masquerade in your delusion. You are a property too, Christians. That's why when you join the Roman, become a nun or a priest or whatever, that your property becomes theirs. That's a fact. It never stopped being about property. Period. That's the real reason why you pay taxes. Because this is their land, and you're letting you use it by their permission. They're getting a share. That has always been the reason why you pay taxes. Bantu people, when we did it, we were never supposed to use it as a means of leverage. That's why the Most High was angry over others. You were an owner, you had land, you let them use it. Yes, they paid it, but you were never supposed to be abusive about it. That was the condemnation part. Our anger gave space to the devil. Our hearts became anger. It gave space to the devil. Now we have people with anger and jealousy still giving space to the devil because they don't understand. It's not about condemnation. It's about pity. We must pity those who fell for the delusion of Rome. Because Rome is the one that has people out here condemning people. That was their practice. That was their way. The courts are set up like that. Still all the, Okay. So I just wanted to bring this message today because I know people in this awakening and in our understanding of the Most High Tata nZambi, he is slow to wrath and anger. So must we be. If we are supposed to be like the Most High, we must be so slow to wrath and anger. We must be slow. We must not have jealousy of any kind to be of one people. And we must continue to walk in love of one another, not hatred, not animosity, not jealousy. Because when you give space to the devil, then that's when you say things that are going to get you, that are not true. I know this. You're going to say things that are in the spirit of the wrong person, of the wrong master. You are going to do things with animosity in your heart, and it will cost people. This is the whole Bantu problem. The Bana Kongo, this is all Bantu people's problem. The negroes, the black people who come from Obana Saka Yakubi, this has always been our problem. This is why the world is upside down. This is why people believe, oh yeah, the Gentiles, they will be the salvation. No way. It doesn't even say that. The strangers could never be the salvation. But they flipped it to make the Gentiles think that they were the people. The Gentiles cannot bring salvation. They have nothing to do with the Most High. This is what Kusa Kongo was upset about. How is it that they can understand what I'm saying better than you can? I have not seen more, Bana Betu, Bana Kongo, Bana nZambi people is what he was talking about. Look at us. We are the ones that messed up. But we want to blame all the other nations. It's your fault. No, it's our fault. Ye wasn't telling the lie. We chose to go into slavery because we rejected Tata nZambi and Mpungu Tulendo, our Congo, and accepted the Mammon, Jesus Christ, Baal, as a deceiver. And the world's going to see that. That's why they're going to do this masquerade for what they keep talking about, rapture and second coming. He did not come for the Gentiles. It says it clearly in Matthew 15. I came for. The bread goes too. But we rejected him. And then the deceiver comes and makes a modification, of a version of a Messiah that didn't exist, but was the mixing of the ancient Babylonian God with our God, so that he would become the husband of the Muntu and steal us away from Tata, nZambi, and Mpungu. He did this several times, and he did it again. That's why to tell Black people the truth is a problem. Specifically the Bantu, the Muntu. Because you are the property of Rome. You belong to the Vatican, and they know it. When King Nzinga and all the other kings of Congo, the other Bantu kings, signed on the treaty, you became the property of Rome. All the people, chiefs, and all the people who did this stuff became the property of Rome. Rome didn't go nowhere. Babylon didn't go anywhere. Babylon morphed into different kingdoms. And you're standing in it today, all around the world. And you have bowed down to the image of the beast. So it has always been about two masters. You either serve one or the other. You can't do both. But the world doesn't understand. If you are of this world, they just say, "Oh, I'm not in the world no more. I received Jesus Christ. I'm not." Yes, you are, because that particular being is the Mammon. It has brought you into all of the debaucheries you see on this earth. Romans 1 is what he's talking about. When you put the creation above the creator, you will be given a reprobate mind. So all of these things that people are talking about, oh, alcohol, partying, they've been doing, you don't understand. This is not, this doesn't stop. This has been going on for years. As the brother said, it's always been about Saturnalia, which was a Canaanite belief in the god Saturn. You have always been worshiping the Mammon. When they say Saturn, that is Satan. Jupiter, same thing. The image of the beast is in the middle of Washington, D.C. The image of the beast is in the middle of Brazil. When I went to Angola, all of the power lines look like the phallic. Okay? Our Bantu leaders have prostituted themselves, just like our elders did, just like the kings did, just like our ancient ancestors did when we went into captivity. We prostituted ourselves yet again. And that's why they don't have any respect for Bantu people. Why you're looked down upon, why they don't even have any desire to even make you their equal. Because you are nothing to them. Because you are bought and paid for. This is the whole concept behind racism. It's about supremacy. Who rules? It's because those who fight against it don't even know who they are, which is a good thing that they do. But then themselves, they don't even know, wait a minute, I'm also a prostitute. That's why they get angry and say, what are you doing? You're a property too. but they have to masquerade like they're helping, okay? Doing good things. This time they talk about, oh, Thanksgiving is about giving and loving. Do you not even know, okay, that you wouldn't even need this problem to be resolved if it wasn't created in the first place? The 1%ers have you believing so many lies about what they have done in this world. You don't even know. Oh, history is a lie. Big time. Who is really the God of this earth and God you trust in? You don't even know. When he was breaking, I was listening about how the military operates. I said, it's interesting. You don't understand that since the 1920s, you are a cog in a wheel. Everybody's treated like as if you're going through a factory. Produce, products. That's the whole earth now. But the masquerader still has to act like he has a heart. Oh, that's not fair. The animals, this and that. No, they're suffering because of the animals are suffering because the Bantu people said no to Tata nZambi, to Congo. If Shaitani is not against the Most High, then why mock him like a gorilla? Then why mock his people like apes? That's a fact. This is what they do. We are a mockery. We are a laughing stock. We are nothing to them. That's why they don't tell you the truth about the real concept behind sports and behind other things. It's always about money. Everything's about a business. Everything's about ownership. Everything's about property. Everything's about trade, shipping and whatever and whatnot. Commodities, exchange brokers. That's what the stock market is. Property. Buying and selling. It never stopped, even from the times of the plantation. Now it's everybody. It's always been everybody. Because you are either owned by the Most High, the God of creation, or you are owned by the Mammon. That's the way it really works. All right. I want to say Zola Quingi and Sambolongo in a ways of Yawe Kongo Kutwala. And understand this. Any and everything can be marketed for the Mammon, even those you consider to be righteous. They turned our Messiah into a commodity. The same thing is happening in Angola right now. They know our disunity is their profit. Our lack of kintwadi, our lack of union is their profit. When we unify, their profit stops. They don't make money no more. They don't have anything anymore. Everything comes crashing down because all of the blessings were always upon the Bantu people, the Bana Kongo, the Bana nZambis. All of the wealth belongs to the Most High. This is his world, the nToto. And he chooses to give it to whom he pleases. This is the facts. But the imposter, through his creation, look what he did to the whole earth. This was what happened in the days of Noah with what happened then. Same thing. The imposter made people believe, oh yeah, this is the way you should do things. No. And those, of course, they fought against who were saying differently. They didn't like it. Well, now the master of the vineyard is coming back to see what has been done with his vineyard and who he will hold accountable for that. That's why the judgment starts in the 12th house of nZolele, the house of Isaele, the house of Israel, if you want to call it that. That's why the judgment starts there. Because the caretakers are the ones who went after the lovers instead of taking care of the vineyard. All right. Zola Kringi and Sambolono, Izawezi Yawe Kongo Kutwala. And for those of you, I know you commented, I'll do my best to answer. And understand, people, this is anybody, including myself, anybody who causes this changeover to continue to be moved in the right direction is a problem. Because the world banks, they want the money to keep flowing to them. That's what they do. You start interrupting that flow, that person's a problem. They got to go. That's where the Most High protection comes into the play to say, hey, no, I choose, it will not happen like that. Like you said, like the Coco said, no, you won't stop them. You might have tried to, you don't want me here, but the ones that will come after me, you won't stop. And that's the day they were dreading the whole time. But the world didn't know it. Okay, Ingita, Sambolo.